This video has been sponsored by Squarespace, which is not to be confused with Squarespace. Join now to get your very own squarular celestial body in a jar. Yeah, there's no promo code. You have to pay full price, starting at $14. Let me tell you a story. In 2024, I started looking for a uniform location to download video game music for use in my videos. The website I found is called KH Insider. While sounding like a newsletter, it houses a ton of soundtracks from various games. Obviously, it doesn't have every soundtrack for every game. That would be an impossible task. With the games it does have, it's very impressive, although it's much more striking to me the ones they don't have, which should be extremely simple. Like, you don't have Sonic 2 or Sonic Mania, but you have Dora and Timu Mizumi's Fantastic Flight for the DS. This is partly why in my older videos, I used songs from the Sonic Anniversary hacks. In place of the actual Sonic 1 and 2 soundtracks, all I found were supposed Anniversary Edition soundtracks, which remixed the music and gave it a more modern feel with each act having a different song. It's not that I really enjoyed the music from them and felt that I needed to put them in my videos, they were alright. There just weren't any Sonic 2 or 1 albums for me to download. Furthermore, you can call me lazy or a linear thinker, but it just never occurred to me that I could download some of the uploads from Deoxys Prime's channel as music. I did that with Sonic Mania though, so it's weird that I stopped there just because there wasn't any album close enough. Anyway, I originally found KH Insider in search of Sonic 3's music. I'd like to add that at the bottom of any albums page has related albums. One of those was Sonic CD, or so it seemed. It was essentially a deluxe version of what I was anticipating. Not only did it have the JP soundtrack, but the US one too. I'm not a super big fan of the US soundtrack. In my opinion, it's actually pretty bad, but there are some gems there I must admit, like Tidal Tempest and Sonic Boom. Other than those, I really don't care for it. Going deeper into this album, you'll find there's a strange assortment of songs. Little Planet, Love You Sonic, past themes for the US soundtrack, like, could these have actually been in Sonic CD and my ears have just been closed the whole time? Despite this question lingering in the back of my head and the fact that I don't have ears, I was never very interested in answering it. I was too busy watching video essays of other people answering questions I didn't have. But let's say hypothetically I did start looking into the question. What the heck is up with these songs? I want to get the easiest one out of the way first. The Little Planet theme. As big of a claim as this is, it's not true, since there is no Little Planet stage in the first place. What this song is seems to be a double repurposing. You know how in the credits there's an animation for a stage that doesn't exist? That was for a scrapped R2 or Round 2, the intended second stage for Sonic CD, also known as Dubious Depths and formerly known as Ridicule Route. The stage itself seems like it would have had a very ruined feel to it. The song was originally intended to play as the present theme, and it was very recently confirmed by composer Naofumi Hayata that the team hadn't made any past or future versions, good or bad. What's weird to me about this stage is that it was late enough to have a spot in the end credits animation, fully colored and everything, but early enough that there wasn't any extra music made than what we already know. Maybe I know less about the development process than I thought, but can I not call this stupid and confusing? It's not like there's even that much to say about this zone. There doesn't seem to be any restoration or found footage of what the stage would have looked like. Its only bit of existence is in the end credits animation. I'm just really confused where in the development timeline they would have halted any future development of Dubious Depths, but also have a fully animated version of the stage fully realized before then or at the same time. It feels really premature. Anyway, the song was repurposed for the DA Garden, which is very official. So at this point, you're probably wondering why I'm acting so confused over it. It is quite literally part of official Sega albums of Sonic CD's music. I'm not pretending or anything, I just didn't know the DA Garden was a thing. I honestly thought they were putting in an unused track for the fun of it. Plus, it's very weird that the track isn't called DA Garden. I know that the track when it was for R2 was called Little Planet, but that's very clearly a temporary title. It's not like if it were ever a real stage it would be called that. To be honest, I would have loved to hear Little Planet in a stage. It's such a good song that I'm glad they didn't waste. I just wish there was an actual stage to go along with it. The oddest thing I saw in the KH Insider album were the past themes for the US soundtrack. I was under the impression that they didn't exist at all. I mean, they just used the present version in the base game, so I thought this was a severe act of uncovering some unused stuff here. I wouldn't say that they're really good, but they definitely deliver on the ambient and calm aesthetic. However, this is not the full story. See, these songs aren't actually made by the Sega Sound team or whatever, but they're fan-made and part of a mod. Come on, if these were fully in the files and ready to go, why were they unused? I like the songs, but I don't really understand why they're in this album specifically. This isn't an album with the fans' hard work making Sonic CD the most coherent audibly. It's quite literally called Sonic CD Restored. I feel like fan-made music would be outside the act of restoration. That's all I really have to say about this. Go download the mod and listen to the music yourself, I guess. Although, just as a warning, you will have to listen to the US soundtrack for this. Just try and bear through it, I guess. There are some other songs in here that really have nothing to do with the Sonic CD game, like music from an album released in 1994 called Sonic the Hedgehog Remix. Apparently, the music in this album are remixes done by Masafumi Ogata and Naofumi Hayata, who did the soundtrack for Sonic CD, along with vocals from Momo Michishita and Yasu. I just can't tell which songs they're remixing exactly. It really feels like the majority of them are straight up original. But for you, I'll try my best to make connections. This album is a weird little collection, but I love it. Not only because it's weird, but also because the tracks are bangers. Let's quickly run through the ones I don't have that much to say about. Techno Power Mix is remixing Little Planet. Brand New World is Quartz Quadrant Bad Future. Number 8th Space is the special stage theme. When We Reach For You is Cosmic Eternity but from an alternate reality, and I have nothing for Sonic Stream. The closest connection I can make with Love You Sonic is Palm Tree Panic, as they both have this general upbeat vibe and emphasis on what I believe to be a trumpet. Anyway, the lyrics are very odd and could be interpreted in many different directions. Mine is that the singer is coercing Sonic into falling for Amy because she already loves him or something. It's very vague. I guess he could be talking about any girl. Maybe Madonna, that scrapped girlfriend, or Rouge, or Elise. Dr. Gigglymen, while having a pretty funny title, is also the best song in the entire album. I liken this to Tidal Tempest as they both share the use of staccato in their backing piano, but it could also be Metallic Madness from the usage of the weird robotic voice. Miracle Blue is a very infamous song for me. I initially thought it was the US soundtrack's version of Little Planet, even though it remixes basically all of the Japanese soundtrack, but also you can't blame me for that, because it literally has Little Planet in its title. I'm telling you, there's a lot remixing. Mainly Quartz Quadrant and Tidal Tempest though. Lastly, the description of the music album itself has a weird little paragraph explaining the music album known as Sonic the Hedgehog Boom, which was given to those who pre-ordered Sonic 3. This album had music based on Sonic CD and Sonic Spinball, specifically the US soundtrack, which took me way too long to realize. Also, I find it pretty funny that they use the phrase based on as if it's loosely inspired by Sonic music. It's a remix of the songs using the same name, just with more instruments. If you want to get into real based on territory, then look no further than Sonic the Hedgehog Remix. Something most strange to the author of this poorly written essay is that the songs extended for the loops. They also vaguely mention the JP version's music, how it had extensions before the loops, and that there were technical limitations that caused them to be cut from the game. But they never mention what they were. We're just supposed to know. But I've got you. I had to do a bit of digging, but this technical limitation was because the timing was too hard to get down. These loops weren't specifically part of the tracks themselves, rather separate files made to go in between the end of the song and the beginning of it starting again. It sucks that these never became official because they're really enjoyable, and in Tidal Tempest's case, literally mandatory. So if you haven't heard these loops before, I'll play them in order now. It's kind of weird how empty these songs can feel without these if you've heard them enough. And it's a mystery why these haven't come back in some other form with better technology. That's all there is left with this album. Great, now I can go back to sleep. Like and subscribe or your nails will grow 3 times faster.